Jai Hind. Vice Admiral Atul Anand, GOC KNK Saberia, General VT Matthews, AVM Guru Hari, esteemed veterans, esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen, it's my proud privilege to be here. It's always a pleasure to visit Bengaluru, the Garden City, also a city which is known as the Silicon Valley of India, also a city which is known for the educational and the research institutions like the Indian Institute of Science and the Indian Institute of Management. Bengaluru is also an economic and an industrial powerhouse. And why I say today, standing on this podium, is that Bengaluru is playing a very crucial and a very pivotal role in making sure that we achieve our ideal of a Viksit Bharat 2047 and achieving the Atmanirbharta. The Atmanirbharta, in the word Atmanirbharta means self, a knowledge of self, Atmagyan. And why I am saying this Atmagyan is because I am conscious of the fact that I am standing beside the Mysore Lancers Memorial. On this fateful day, 107 years back, under the 15th Cavalry Brigade, the Mysore Lancers, the Jodhpur Lancers and the Hyderabad Lancers charged and captured Haifa. They created history. As General Matthew correctly said, they re-established the pride, valor and the courage of the Indian soldiers and the ability of the Indian military leaders to lead their men in attaining which was considered literally impossible. This was a clash of sword and spears against the modern artillery guns and the modern automatic machine guns. And mind you, in this battle, pitched against the sword and the spears with the modern ammunition and the equipment, it is the sword and the spears that won. It is the courage, it is the bravery of our Indian soldiers, ably led by our Indian leaders, that won the day. And that's why it is important to have that confidence. Unless and until you have that Atmagyan, the knowledge of the self, the confidence, the pride will not come. And today, as India marches steadily and confidently towards the Viksit Bharat 2047, it's very, very important to hold such kind of functions. And I must pay compliments to all of you who are here today, attending this and giving your precious time. And in particular to Professor Uday Raghunath Birje and the Mysore Lancers Heritage Foundation for organizing such kind of a function year after year. It is an embodiment of that Atmagyan, the self-gyan, and it is this confidence in us Indians and the mindset that is going to lead India to a Viksit Bharat 2047. On that fateful day, on 23rd of September, as the last cavalry charge would have happened, what is it that motivated and impelled our soldiers to achieve that unattainable? I think it is the more than 5,000-year-old legacy of courage, bravery and always standing by the side of Dharma. Dharma is not religion, it is righteousness. It is the model code of conduct. The Indian army and the Indian leaders have always stood by the side of righteousness, by the side of Dharma against the injustice. And I think this particular day commemorates that day. And I'm absolutely certain that those soldiers would have definitely drew their confidence from the shlokas of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Nanam chindyanti shastrani नैनम दहति पावका न चैनम क्लेदि अंत्यापो न शोष्यति मारुता. The soul, the Atma is indestructible. The weapons cannot cut it. The fire cannot burn it. The water cannot moisten it. And the wind cannot dry it. If you have that thing in your soul and in your mind, and when you enter battle, that you are fearless. You don't fear the death. And when you go into battle fearless, without the fear of death, the victory would always be achieved. And when the great heroes, the leaders, Major Dalpat Singh Shekhawat and Captain Aman Rathore, and the brave men of Mysore Lancers, Jodhpur Lancers and the Hyderabad Lancers, I am sure they also would have drew inspiration and motivation from again one of the famous shlokas of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Hato va prapasyasi swargam jitva va bhukshase mahim tasmad utisht kauntaye yuddhay krit nishchaya. If you get slain in battle, you achieve moksha. And if you win in the battle, you enjoy the earth. And that's why, O Kunti Putra, arise, pick up your Gandhi and fight. But fight for what? Fight for the establishment of Dharma, the righteousness and the model code of conduct for which India as a country and the Indian army have always stood. The Battle of Haifa was momentous. That victory is one of the greatest victory because ultimately it led to the collapse of the Ottoman Empire in 1922. And the confidence that was gained by the Indians in their own ability to fight and win a war under the Indian leadership actually gave a fresh impetus to the Indian freedom movement. And this battle also set the stage for the creation of not only Israel, but Saudi Arabia, Jordan, and Syria also. Syria and Iraq also. So this definitely is a very, very momentous event. And without taking much of the time, when I got here and stood on this podium in 2023, I had, today in fact incidentally, is the second day of the Navratras. The second day of the Navratra is actually dedicated to the Mata Brahmacharini, and Mata Brahmacharini denotes tapas, and she also denotes sanyam, restraint. I think both the tap and the restraint are extremely important if you have to win in any endeavor of life. And that's why I am tempted again on this day, on the second day of Navratra, and as I heard the Mysore anthem, which is an ode to Ma Chamunda, to say the Navaran mantra and to explain the meaning of Navaran mantra, because in this Navaran mantra, I think the entire rationale and the logic of Indian soldiering is actually encapsulated. The Navaran mantra is very simple, Om Aing Ring Kling Chamundai Viche, but it means say Brahmarupini, Hey Mahashakti, मुझे ब्रह्म में स्थित कर, गति मति निर्मलता और शांति और स्थिरता प्रदान कर. हे क्षमा मूर्ति, मुझे मर्यादा में रख. शैल धीरवान, विनम्र और विजयी बना. दुख रोग भय और संकटों से मेरी रक्षा कर. हे आनंदमयी मां, मुझे मधुरता प्रेम प्रसन्नता उत्साह भावना सिद्धि संपन्नता तुष्टि और पूर्णता प्रदान कर. परम पराक्रम वाली अजय रौद्रूपिणी चंडी के प्रसन्न हो जाओ. This is what encapsulates the Indian Army and India as a nation. Thank you. All the best. Jai Hind.